Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm a occupational therapy student. I did my project on self-regulation because self-regulation is linked to academic skills. Those with better self-regulation skills perform better um, on academic tasks in the classroom. So, what is self-regulation? It is the ability to manage and control emotions, behaviors, and actions from stress and stimuli. In other words, it's about matching the energy to complete the activity you're doing. So you need a different amount of energy to sit in the classroom and focus as you do out on the playground with your friends. And it's about having the ability to know what's what and how much energy you need for each and to control the stimuli around you. So it's pivotal in order to focus, interact, learn, make connections, attend to tasks, and ultimately control our emotions. So, when exploring options for regulation, it's important to explore them when the child's regulated so that the tools are familiar to them when they're not regulated. If you explore the tools when the child's not regulated, their processing speed is just so much slower. Um, it's not very effective. Self regulation skills are also learned. So, the more you practice them, the more they will translate to everyday life. It's also very, very beneficial to have someone teach you the skills and to learn from. I like this little comparison is you're a better athlete when you practice and you have a coach than without one. So this kind of relates to that. You have better self-regulation skills when you practice them and when you have a coach or a mentor who you are learning from and can give you the feedback and the guidance. So what is dysregulation? Dysregulation is an imbalance in our central nervous system, making it difficult to regulate emotions, behaviors, and sensory input. So it's the opposite. And factors that can delay self regulation skills include biological, developmental, behavioral, and contextual factors. So, what causes dysregulation? Hunger, sensory preferences, overstimulation, lack of movement, lack of exercise, poor sleep, feeling sick or in pain, lack of communication or just unable to communicate what you need, and traumatic life events or stressful life events. What does dysregulation look like? So, red ears, facial change color, so super pale face, super red face, um, muscle tone changes, so like super tense, like tense fists are a big one, or the opposite, so limp like a noodle, like you can just like see their arms are super limp. Breathing changes, so super heavy breathing, or they're like holding their breath, speaking super fast or super slow. Pupils get super big or super small. So kind of the both ends of the spectrum for these things. And then fleeing the situation, so running away. And then some of the ones I think we're more familiar with here are difficulty calming down, reduction in performance, unable to follow instructions, um, crying or whining, and aggressive behaviors. So, what to do when a child is dysregulated? Create a safe space, reduce sensory stimuli in the environment, make it as simple as possible. And I'm going to create another video on another handout that will go through calming sensory strategies. Validate what you see. So be on the same level as the child and validate what you see using language like, I noticed that, it seems like, I see that, and keep this language very short and sweet. Like I said, when the child is not regulated, their processing speed is a lot slower. So once you say something, wait, count in your head like 1,000, 2, 1,000 for 10 seconds before you say something else. Visual options are also great. That is something that is easier for them to process. 65% of people are visual learners. So when a child's not regulated, offering like a weighted blanket, breathing, or putty. So 3 visual choices, and they could point to which one they want. And these are things, again, you would want to practice when they are regulated, so that when they're not regulated, this isn't foreign to them. Then they're not kind of like, oh, what is this? No, it's, oh, these are my 3 options. I want this one. So these would be things that you've practiced before and that they like. This is a visual I really like. So it's I feel, and then it would be a blank space where they could pick their emotion, and then I need, and it would be a blank space, and they could put a couple different choices that you would offer for them. Again, something you would practice when they were regulated. So what is co-regulation? So this is the process that all of us help with, where we help develop ways to manage their emotions and behaviors. So we are the coach, the modelers, we help them lead by example. So we're providing this connection and making the space feel very safe. So this acronym AGILE kind of helps set some rules. So the first one is about your demeanor and emotional state using a calm expression and demeanor. The second one is about posture, body movement, so getting low to the child's level and being approachable. So we're usually taller than the children, so getting down to their level, talking in a quieter voice, usually talking in a slower voice. So the one that says you're pacing, wait, watch, and wonder. So say things slower, give them time. And then the last one is engagement. So engage the child before moving forward. So say something, but then wait and give them time before moving forward. And then just another thing that to point out is that like our expressions and posture and body movements are also very impactful, and is something that they may be feeding off of. So just being aware of that. Okay, so the polyvagal theory is 3 states of our nervous system in regulating our response to stress. So I feel like the picture is very helpful. So the ventral vagal state is at the bottom, and this is where we feel safe, can learn and connect to others, and we feel emotions like joy, mindful, we're in the present, we feel safe. Sympathetic is next, and this is when we're feeling less safe, more aroused. This is the fight or flight state, so you've probably heard of that. Blood pressure and heart rate increases, and we're awfully feeling tense. Emotions here are panic, fear, worry, anxious, anger, frustration. A lot of kids are stuck in this state, especially a lot of the kids that we work with. And this is a ladder, so you're just going to the next state and back down. You're not skipping states. And then the top one is freeze. So if you ever seen kids just kind of be like, and they're really not responding, that's the dorsal vagal state. It's a shutdown response. You're disconnected from your feelings. You're feeling shame, very overwhelmed, and helplessness. So we do need all 3 levels in life. We just don't want to be in the sympathetic or the dorsal vagal state for too long. That's when it's not good for our health. So in order to move down, I'm going to introduce some of these other strategies, some of these calming strategies in the other 2 videos. But some are mindfulness, physical activity, and calming sensory strategies. But just having these self-regulation skills and being able to respond to the stress and stimuli, so knowing these calming strategies brings us down into the ventral vagal state where we can feel safer. So the ultimate thing is feeling safe and lessening the arousal. Okay, so practice identifying emotions is super important. We need to know how we're feeling to know what calming strategy might be helpful. So zones of regulation's great. Emotion wheel's great because not a lot of words and a lot of visuals. or labeled cards or pictures on AAC devices. Okay, this chart has been super helpful for me. So this can be helpful when one cannot label emotions yet themselves. So on the left is the emotion, the middle is the action urge, and the right is the purpose. So the first emotion is anger. And what might someone do when they're angry? Attack, like actually physically attack. And why might they do that? Because they signal a problem or a goal is blocked. The next emotion is fear. And what might a child do? Run or avoid. And they're trying to keep themselves safe. So an example here would be a child runs away out of the classroom, and we could think, okay, maybe they're fearful because there is a new adult in the classroom today, and they don't know how to communicate that with us. So this is the only way they know how to do this. And the only way they know how to communicate with us is just to get out of the situation. They think they're keeping themselves safe, so they're running away. They're not trying to, be naughty. They're just trying to protect themselves. So an example for the first one with using the language up above. So the emotion would be anger, the action urge is attack, and the purpose is to signal a problem. The goal is blocked. So could say something like, I see that your fists are clenched and you're stomping your feet. It seems like you're angry. So using language like that, instead of, are you angry? You are angry. So you're saying what you observe. You observe that their fists are clenched and that they're, stomping their feet. So you're trying to teach them those things and then saying that it seems like you're angry. So you're not just pointing the emotion, you're not picking it out for them, because maybe they're not. Maybe it is something else. But you're trying to validate what you see. And this can help them also learn, like how their actions can relate to an emotion. And I noticed that, your face is really red. I noticed that you're kicking and screaming. So just pointing out different things that you observe. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm going to send along the other two videos as well.